I'm going to share a story.
Okay.
So, how I met Jeanette is that I have an IT company, IT service company in Nashville, NFP IT Pros, and I service her mom's account firm. And the funny story I have is how proud of a mom your mom is and how proud of you she is. So there's days where I would go there. It's like, I need to install this computer or fix this internet problem. And I'm like scheduling it in between stuff. And I'm supposed to be there like maybe 30 minutes, an hour max. And I'll be there for hours because she'll be like, Janet was on BBC last night. Look, Janet, look at her at Turkey. Look at her moderating. She'll have all these pictures and videos just showing me, and I'm supposed to be out of here, got places to go. But she is so proud, and it's a great thing to see, but it's so funny because I'm just like, this proud mom. She's so proud of her daughter, and I guarantee you, similar to my mom, might not tell you as much as she tells everyone else. Tell everyone else. And when you just, okay, but you'll hear stories from other people like, so that's a beautiful thing. Shout out to all the proud moms.
Oh, shout out to the proud moms.
A child, doesn't want to make your parents proud, right?
True. No, that's good.
But my gosh, she also can,
Yeah. So it's always funny to, and then you have any long-term goal, like an ultimate goal that you got set? We're going to speak it into existence.
Yes.
One of them at least.
Yes.
Let's just say one big goal. We're going to watch as you pursue and achieve.
So one of my biggest goals and dreams since I was a young girl, Kennard, was honestly when I would watch the Travel Channel and I'd watch, Anthony Bourdain or Samantha Brown show me the world. And I would look at my mom and I would say, Mom, I'm going to do that one day. And she's like, yeah, that's really cute. I'm like, I'm not cute. I'm going to do that. She's like, you can do it. Like, it was like cute, but I was like, no, I'm not cute. I'm going to do this. And so I think because I really like to be the bridge between the storyteller and the destination, I found the love of, informing people the beauty of the world and people and languages and cultures and histories and food and things that connect us, because I think, like I said before, we may speak different languages, we may practice different religions, we may, live in different countries, but we really love, to eat. We love to be with friends. We love to be with family. We want to be heard. We want to be seen. We want to be appreciated. So I think that travel has a beautiful way to connect us and open our minds. And especially now that we're still in this pandemic, it's just, I even appreciate it even more, travel, right? And so even local travel, I love and just meeting new people. So, so my to answer your question is to do a travel show. And whether that's being the host or being the producer, to me it's all great, but I really feel like it's time for more women, more diversity in this space, because we need to show our future, our youth, our children, and our future generations that we can do it, and and just how beautiful this world is. So that's my big goal. And I also want to do a scholarship at my alma mater. I want to have a study abroad scholarship where I can give every semester, for example, the best of both worlds in education and travel. So that is something I want to do to give back. And I also, on a personal note, want to get married, have kids, all that fun stuff. I think, that's just one of my other big dreams. So
that's good. And anything, I'm always here to help any way we can. And anybody watching, if y'all want to help in any way, I'll make sure I have contact info in here. maybe we can help raise something to start off your scholarship fund.
Aw, thank you.
Any way we can help. Any funny stories when traveling?
Oh man, how much time do we have, Kennard?
Let's go.
So many embarrassing stories. Let's see. I think I mentioned earlier when I fell in a subway in New York City. Yes, I was in college, and Uber did not exist back then, nor did Lyft. And so it was the traditional taxi or subway or walk your way. And so I got off JFK and I went to a taxi and I was like, how much is it? I was a college student. How much is it to get into Manhattan? He was like $70. Like, yeah, not happening. And so I went down and got lost and tried to figure out the subway and metro system. And I got in to the Jamaica line to go, connect to go to the city. I had a big backpack, a purse, and everyone was just rushing in and out of the subway. And I was like, oh my God, I was the last one in, and I was looking for a place to sit. And as soon as I was looking for a place to sit, the subway goes whoosh. And because, the weight of the backpack and my purse on me, momentum. I was like, and I fell.
Tumble.
And it was like slow motion, but fast. So it was like fast, but it was like, no. And then I was on the ground, and I remember it was like 10 or 15 people on the subway. And I hit the ground and things flew, to the end of the subway out of my purse. And I was just embarrassed and shocked. And then I was like, because Southern, we live in Tennessee for
Southern
a while.
hospitality.
I was like, I'm sure somebody will come and help me up.
Just help me up. Help me gather my things.
Nope, no one. And so I got myself up, and the next stop wasn't for
New York.
the next stop wasn't for 10 minutes, I think. So I had to be on that subway with the people who I just fell down with. And just the kicker, once we were getting off and going to a new station, this guy that was on the subway was like, hey, I saw your fall. Are you okay? I was like, yeah, I'm fine. He goes, hey, what are you doing later tonight? I was like, you are not trying to ask me out after this.
He couldn't even help you.
Oh my gosh. I was like, wow.
Lord.
If you would have helped me up, maybe, but nope.
Now I see the type of person you are. If I fall, you won't be there to help.
Yes, if I fall, will you pick me up? So that was a fun story. I did a study abroad in Sicily, in Italy, and I convinced 2 of my classmates to do a 48-hour train ride to Rome. And we didn't get a hotel. We were just like, we're gonna rally, we're gonna stay up all day, and we don't need a hotel. And this was college days when I had much more energy. And we was like, and we're not gonna get a hotel because we're not gonna sleep. We're not gonna sleep. We're gonna be out. We're gonna back in the day, did clubbing or went out in restaurants. And we did that, and we got there at 8 a.m. and by 10, 11 p.m. we're like, okay, we're tired. Let's just find a place, rest a little bit, put our stuff down. No vacancy. Everything in Rome. I don't know why at that time was packed, was full. No, and we're like, well, we got to do what we said we're gonna do. We're gonna rally. So we went to a club, and there were 3 of us, and I was like, okay, so one of us will watch our stuff, and the other 2 go dance, and we're just trying to figure out things to do.
Backpacks or
yeah, because we were just there for 24, 48 hours. We're college students, yeah. And they're like, okay, well, we'll go dance first, and you stay behind and watch the stuff. I'm like, yeah, no problem. I don't know how much time passed, but there was this tall Italian bouncer dude. He was tapping me. He was like, la 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 la, basically telling me I was asleep. I fell asleep. And not only did I fall asleep in a club in the corner, I was supposed to be watching our stuff, and it just was the worst. And then he's like, you have to stay awake or you'll get kicked out. And my friends were like, what happened? I was like, oh, I can't stay awake. And so we went to coffee shop or restaurants, and we're just okay, 2 of you talk and 1 of us can rest, because it was the longest weekend.
That's a good one. That's an adventure. I love adventures. I'm trying to think if I have any random adventures like that. I mean, leaving parties and going to sleep in the parking lot before going to work. But I love random adventures like that. And as I get older, the energy doesn't quite allow you, and you have a little more mortal fear as you get older, and you're like, I can really mess myself
Yeah.
up doing stupid stuff. So,
Well, now-
but I love random adventures.
Well, now I have JOMO. I don't have FOMO anymore. So JOMO is the joy of missing out.
Ah, yes.
And so where
Yes.
people have FOMO, the
Oh,
fear
yes.
of missing out, that was me
Oh,
in my
yeah.
20s. I would be here, I'd be there, I'd go everything, everybody, I'd go because I was like, I can't miss anything. And now I'm just like JOMO. When
Yes.
people cancel on me, I'm
Yes.
like, oh great. Like, I'm
Yes.
so happy.
Get the call, oh man, I can't go out. Yes.
I'm just like, yay.
Okay, you got any favorite places that you like? Or
I do. Okay, well, I love San Diego, where,
ding.
you know, little plug there. I do love
That's
San
my
Diego.
favorite spot in the U.S., San Diego.
San Diego is amazing. You know, California, I would say Santa Barbara, Palm Springs can be fun.
Favorites.
Okay, favorite. We're gonna go international. I have top 3 favorite.
Okay.
So India,
India. Cuba.
and Egypt.
And Egypt.
Amazing,
Those are
amazing.
dope. I haven't been to any of those, but they are all on the list.
And soon on your vision board.
There we go.
We're gonna have a whole discussion on vision boards too,
Yes.
because I'm a huge believer and fan of vision boards.
Yes.
And I have so many stories of things that manifested. I don't know how to directly or not, but I think the more clear you are about what you want, whether that's images, writing it down in the present tense can also be very, very powerful. I have vision boards, as you've probably
I believe
seen.
that.
And I do daily affirmations because, again, I think what is really important besides your skill set, which is super important, experience, etc., is your mindset.
Yeah.
Because if you really think you can, you'll find a way.
Yeah.
And you know, you will just keep going. And you hear that story with entrepreneurs or inventors who created or invented things.
Yeah.
They were told, oh, you're crazy. Oh, it's never been done. But they did because they believed it or believed in themselves. So
I can believe that. And I think there's a lot in the psyche that has a lot to do with how people pursue and achieve. So all that stuff definitely does have impacts in different ways to you getting from point A to point Z. Any favorite people that you have met? I'll exclude myself out of this one.
Any favorite people that I've met? I would say for sure 2 of my mentors who have passed away, Reginald Rutherford and Tom Story, who is my professor at Belmont. Tom Story from day one saw what was in me before I even saw it. He pushed me to, apply for, scholarships or to write more, to get out of my comfort zone. And then Reggie, he, it was just that tough love that I needed, but believed in myself. And he used to work for Extra, the TV show. Yeah. And I actually met him, and I just moved back from Australia. I was doing a 6-month contract job there. Yeah. And I just went to him and I was like, hey, you guys hiring? What are you guys doing? And he's like, that's the thing. It's like when you just believe in yourself, you're like, I have nothing to lose. I may look silly, but I may never see them again. I mean, just because you believe in it yourself. And he was, I think, so taken aback that I was just like, hi, I'm Janelle. Yeah. He was like, okay, this girl, she's, she knows what she wants. Yeah. She's going to go for it. And so he later became my mentor. Yeah. And he put me on my first red carpet. And he was like, all right, you want to do more hosting? You want to do more interview? Meet me at the Savant Theater next week, 5 p.m., hair and makeup ready. I didn't know that, I was like, okay. And I was there and he had a camera. He's like, all right, you're going to do the red carpets? And I was like, what? I was like, no, he's like, you want this or not? I was like, it's that tough love. Because it's uncomfortable. Wait, I'm not ready. I need practice. Who is it? No, it's go time. And that's the thing. Sometimes opportunities and people come into your life unexpectedly. But that famous saying, I don't know who said it, you have to quote it later, but he said, when the student is ready, the teacher's up here. Yeah. When you are open and available, you will be presented people, things
just opportunities, and it's up to you to say, to step into the fear and the discomfort of like, oh my God, what people are gonna look at me, people are gonna say, oh, I'm uncomfortable. And sometimes playing big and leveling up, even for me, is uncomfortable because I'm like, I'm not used to being seen and recognized and blah, blah, blah. But I understand that it's necessary for me to make the impact that I want to make.
Yes, and get to where you're trying to get to.
Yeah.
And I live in that mindset. I'm constantly feel like I reach higher to kind of
grow faster, to it's kind of like throwing myself. I feel like I'm constantly throwing myself in the pool of whatever business or something I want to learn. One is being self-aware to know my learning way, which is by doing. But also, if I try to like sit back and study and learn stuff, I will find excuses and delay myself versus setting up something like an interview, a show or something, and just going with it, not necessarily knowing how it's gonna go, and let it naturally kind of form into what it's eventually going to form into. But I constantly throw myself when I traveled. I used to go to Atlanta a lot because it had like wealthy African Americans, and if I am immersed in that environment, I'm inspired. I see places that I can get to that I'm not naturally around, and it's just constantly just purposeful submerging into wherever I'm trying to get to.
That is so important. I think that a lot of the visionaries, a lot of like the Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, just these amazing leaders, even Oprah, like a lot of them say common things. It's like exactly what you're saying. Immerse yourself into the world. If there's a home that you want to live in, go look at it and envision yourself living there. But also going back to the mindset, believing you deserve it, you're worth it. It can happen despite the current circumstances, because a lot of us live in the past. Or we're just anxious about the future. But the beautiful thing about the present moment right now is that we can create it. So we can say, oh, okay, you want this home? Okay, well, I know this realtor, or I know this and I mean, just find ways instead of finding, blockages. But yeah, I think, again, mindset is so important, and that is when a lot of things shifted for me. Was when I started to do that self-development work, and I started to understand my own blockages. And we could talk about, there's a whole conversation we talk about self-sabotage. Sometimes we consciously or unconsciously self-sabotage because of our deep-rooted beliefs or limited beliefs we have, or maybe somebody said something to us that stuck with us. When I was young, I was like 7 or 8, I was playing on a playground in California, and this little kid, we were on the same like rope or something, and he looked at me and he was like, "You're ugly," and I was like, oh my God, I was like 7 or something. And that one little statement from that one little boy, who probably now meant no harm, never remember. That little statement, affirmation from him, stuck with me for over 25 years. Like, I never felt beautiful. And to me, though, I had to say, you know what, regardless what anyone else thinks, I'm beautiful. I love myself. And that shift was like, holy moly, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, it's self-love, self-development.
No, it's all type of stuff, and it's so funny with young boys and young kids, period. But
I know, right? And you just never know what you can say to someone that can impact them positively or negatively. But regardless, a ship doesn't sink. Ships are made to float. Planes are meant to be in the air. The planes are safer in the air than they are in the ground. Ships are safer on the sea than they are at harbor. Ships don't sink just because they sink. Ship sinks because there's a hole and water gets in it. And that's the same thing too. It's like, you can do amazing things, but if you let the opinions of other people weigh you down, then you will start to believe it. Then you will start, you know what I mean? It becomes your reality. So you gotta, on a daily, just like you water a plant,
gotta water yourself.
Water yourself, yourself.
is there any industry, or let's talk about the travel industry, some of the pros and cons associated that you've experienced or see with anyone looking to be in the travel industry?
I would say for me, obviously, it's pros all around because I think it's just such a beautiful industry. I think for me in my journey, what I've had to deal with is that, because I'm a woman and I travel a lot, I've been asked like, well, what are you going to choose, a career in travel or the family, marriage route? And I was like, wait, why do I have to choose? Why do I have to choose? And this one gentleman at a conference many years ago said, because you're a woman. And I was like, no. So I think that there's just like in any industry, a lot of outdated beliefs, but I think that if you want to travel, especially in these uncertain times, you can safely travel locally if you want to travel internationally. But I just think travel is just like an open book. I think it's a beautiful way to learn about the world, and you don't really know a place until you physically can go and experience it for yourself. So it's like somebody who reads about it or watches about it is great, but until you physically can experience it, then you get your own opinion about it.
That makes sense, though. Like even if it's family or just platonic relationships, if you're constantly moving around, you don't get to spend time with certain people as much. That might be one thing. Too many pros that I can think of when it comes to traveling, from just growth because you're exposed to so much stuff, learning. It can cost to travel and be in the travel industry because you might, if you're not paid, your accommodations aren't paid for, paying for hotels and flights, although you can get reward that kind of help offset with that, but that can be one thing.
Yeah, and I think that too, it's also such a physical to travel. Like you get on a plane, you get in a bus, you get on a train, you get on a boat. You're going in different time zones. It's like the older I get, the more I'm about quality versus quantity. So I'm happy to just do 1 or 2 trips every now and then, and as opposed to traveling all the time. My body for me now is like, Turkey was my 61st country.
Nice.
So it's been, very great.
How many countries we have total in the world?
I believe we have 196. Okay. I believe.
Fact check that, y'all.
Fact check that. But yeah, there's this world is just so big and beautiful, and in this lifetime, I would love to see more and meet more people. Yes.
Any places you're looking to that you haven't been to that you really want to visit and explore?
Yes, I would love to go to Peru. I would love to go to Cambodia, to Bhutan. I would love to go to Kenya, to South Africa, to Ghana. I would love to go Morocco, so many places. Iceland, I heard, is just breathtaking nature. Wise.
I see some beautiful aerial videos of Iceland.
I mean, this world, it's just, I would be happy to go to any of those destinations.
Is there current, if somebody, it's like, I don't know what I want to do, but I love traveling, I want to get into traveling. What's some maybe quick and easy career paths or paid gigs that people can do that involves traveling?
Well, I think it depends where they are. Are they a student? Are they early career, mid-career, etc.? But
just give maybe 3.
Sure. I think you can, hospitality, for example.
Hospitality.
You could start at a hotel and figure the different departments from marketing to manager to restaurant events.
I like that.
See if you like what you like. If you like airplanes, airlines, maybe you can start, working at an airport and starting from there and seeing what kind of areas you like. Look for fellowships, grants, internships, mentors that are doing something that you want to do, maybe in travel. There's travel agents. There are tour operators. There are so many different ways that you can get into travel, and it's amazing. And I think it's so individual though based. It's really based on what you like, right? Because some people just, I don't know. Some people want to be in the event space, people, and some people want to be in the air. Some people want to be on the sea. Yeah,
and they'll figure it out. But those are some great ones just to get your foot in the door to start.
Just get your foot in the door, and if you like water and the sea, for example, I recently went to Alaska. You can apply for a seasonal job with a cruise ship. Maybe, better, in next year things will be different, more smoother. But you can, like, for example, there was a lot of young people who were working seasonal jobs. They were tour guides, expedition guides, and they basically get to do what they love, travel the world, and so they like to be in the sea. Some people like to be on the land. Some people, there's so many different ways. You're a photographer. You can, take photos for hotels. You can take photos for magazines. You can take photos of so many things. If you IT.
Man, this is all amazing stuff. I'm thinking of some things that I might need to start doing to help me travel a little bit more.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, whatever it is that you like, IT, photography, writing, there are ways you can integrate that into travel and do that and get paid to do what you love and travel. So it's just about opening your horizons and your mindset, and getting your foot in the door.
You mentioned pre-pandemic. How has the pandemic affected your operations and the travel industry as a whole?
I mean, we're still in it, right? But for me, a lot of my, for example, events or things that I had lined up were postponed or canceled, understandably. And then many people just had to pivot. Pivot meaning doing more virtual, more getting back into writing again. So I started writing a lot more. Just doing more local travel, domestic travel, and really just, I think, and especially during these uncertain times, is asking yourself, like, how can I be of service? How can I help? What are the solutions that I can provide with my services? How can I make someone's day better or easier or smoother by doing what I love, and being of service.
Getting creative to find new opportunities and ways to service people with your travel knowledge. And that's where you got the opportunity with BBC.
Yeah, well, and the funny thing is BBC found me.
I
woke up.
Correction.
So I woke up, so I don't have an agent, I don't have a publicist, and I'm nothing, right? That I basically, when BBC came to me, I got an email at 6 in the morning. It's like, hi, I'm a producer at BBC. You were recommended, we're interested in talking to you about a possible segment. I was like, wait, what? I haven't even had my coffee yet. And I had to
Spam.
I had to Google. I was like, wait, is this a real person? Wait, what? And it was that moment of fear of success that happens.
Oh my God,
when it's so real. I mean, I constantly have to check myself. I'm like, wait, why would they want to talk to me? Wait, are they serious? Is this a joke? And so I was like, okay, calm down. Yes, you deserve. You're worth it. You're capable. And then I composed myself and responded, absolutely, yes, I'm available. Like, great, can you talk in 2 hours? I'm like, yes. And that's the thing. You want it, then you will make it happen. You don't, you'll be like, well, I'm busy, or I don't know. You don't want it. I was like, yes. And so we did a pre-interview, and it was 45 minutes of asking me all these questions, and they're like, okay, she knows what she's talking about. And I didn't know what, everything we were going to talk about. And they're like, okay, great. Can you be ready by 6 a.m. your time tomorrow? I was like, yes, absolutely. And it just happened like that. And then I did it. And it was amazing.
And what was the segment about?
It was about travel, and they had a reporter from France, and then I was a reporter from the U.S. And so they wanted a reporter to talk about the latest in the U.S. And I was the person that they talked to, reporter. And when we were doing it, it was like I could hear them, but I couldn't see them. It was just the screen was black. Yeah. So even then, this is where professional and all those investing classes and mentors kicks in. Was like, great, I can't see you, I can only hear you. You know, it's live, and so I just gotta, you know, do my best and look at, you know. And it was like a 5-minute segment. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yes, I couldn't see what I looked like. I couldn't see who they were. I was just like, yes, and listening very much. And then it was over, and they're like, great, you did wonderful. Thank you so much. We'll contact you. And then later, like an hour later, like they emailed me the segment, and then I was able to watch it. And then people by that time were texting me that they saw me and this and then I saw it, and like watching it, like, you would never know that, like, it was 6 a.m. I was up at 3 a.m. I was doing my hair and makeup. I, you know, drove to, you know, to get ready. Lighting. I probably didn't sleep like more than 2 hours because I was like nervous. I was preparing. Oh, yeah. And then like this, like you would never know that the screen was, I couldn't see who I was talking to. You would just never know. Yeah. And that's the thing about being like on your game and being prepared. So a lot of people say like, you know, oh, you're lucky. It's like, no. It's like what Oprah says. It's like, you know, hard work, you know, luck is when hard work meets opportunity. So because that opportunity came and I was ready and prepared, I was like on every second, didn't matter. And I gave them everything. And then they were like, wow. Same thing when I moderate and I do MC conferences. I'm game, I'm this, whatever happens. I am very professional. And they're like, oh, you're really, like, you can tell you know what you're doing. It's because like in anything, you invest in your skill and you invest in yourself, and you're very professional. And so
that's amazing. That's just to showcase being prepared, mastering your craft and your specialties. It's a never ending because there's constant things changing in the industry. So just staying on it, but taking your craft and yourself as whatever you're doing serious to constantly, because you never know who's watching.
You never know who's watching, who's listening.
I get recommendations for stuff all the time, and there's even times where I can't even find. You'll get to a point where you can't even find who's recommending you. And I mean, had hotels use my IT services, and they were like, I was at a store and needed this, and somebody at the store recommended me. I have no idea who does it, and it's just, but that's just to show being good at what you do, but also being prepared for, you know, what's there to come and what opportunities are out there. So that was great. And
thank you.
So we're almost to the end here. I'm going to wrap up with a bonus for everyone out here watching. Let's see if we can help y'all with traveling. I love to travel. To me, it's just, the world is so big. It's so many people, it's so many cultures, it's so many foods, but it's so much learning of, like, me, I'm not a historian, but how I learn history is by traveling and diving into the local scene and talking to locals, experience things from a local perspective. And you'll really come to understand, like, if I'm in the Spanish speaking places and I'm listening to their dialect, and it's like, you can start to understand mind frames just from different stuff like that. You can understand stuff from the food, like their main diet and daily eating habits and stuff. And you just learn so much by just living amongst the locals, and you got to travel to experience that. Even when she told her story about New York, you see stuff in US media all the time with different TV shows and movies, but it wasn't until I went to New York that it was like, oh, this is where all the movie scenes. I've never seen buildings like this in real life. I never understood why, you know, New Yorkers, they made New Yorkers so, you know, just like, you know, either prideful or just fast paced and going and everything. And like once you're there and it's so populated, it's like you don't have no time for the Southern hospitality stuff. If you don't miss your train trying to hold the door open and all this type of stuff, that's what's so great about traveling. So let's see if we can help y'all travel a little bit more. Any tips for traveling? I know I've once heard, and don't know if it's true, but they were like Tuesdays is the best day to purchase plane tickets.
Yeah, so pre-pandemic, it was mostly popular to purchase plane tickets on Tuesdays because the weekend was over. You know, people usually don't travel during the week per se, but those were when you could find the best airfares. Now it's ever changing. But I will say, and something I learned from Pauline Frommers of the guidebooks, Frommers, I heard her speak in New York once, and she said, when you're looking at plane tickets, especially if you're not with, if you're not going through a travel advisor or agent, if you're doing your own, let's say you're doing a third party, like third company site like Expedia or, or TripAdvisor or something, when you're looking for a flight, you're like, I want to go to, Hawaii. And when you're searching for a plane ticket, search on one device and then book it on a different device. Why? Because the cookies, and you must know this as IT, the tracking, because if you look at Hawaii maybe like an hour or two later, and you're like, you know what, I changed the dates, but I still want to go to Hawaii, magically it might just increase, So definitely do your searching on one device, like your laptop, your iPad, cell phone. And when you're ready to book, have it, on a different device. Or if you go with a travel agent, they can find you great deals too. Another great piece of travel advice I have is if you're going to fly, in your carry-on, pack everything that is most essential. At least pack one backup outfit. Especially if you're going somewhere tropical, like where, a swimsuit, especially if you're going to a wedding and you're in the wedding, put your bridesmaid dress or your tuxedo in your carry-on. I've heard so many stories of delayed luggage, missing luggage, delayed flights, etc. The carry-on you will have with you every part of the way.
Yes.
And so one other thing I do is I make a copy of my passport and I email it to myself. So I have an electronic copy. I do that with my vaccine card too, in case now during these times. Highly recommend TSA PreCheck. It's $85 and or global entry if you want to do more international travel. TSA PreCheck is a 5-year basically membership that's an expedited security. So you know how there's several lines at airports. TSA PreCheck, once you're approved, you don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to take your laptop off. You don't have to do all that. So it's quick, more quick.
Pro tip. Go global entry because it's like $15 more and it allows you to, it comes with TSA PreCheck and they both last the same thing, $15 more, but you'll have a PreCheck that's for certain countries you'll be able to have that same experience. I learned the hard way. I bought PreCheck, happy-go-lucky. I went to Colombia and when I was coming back, we were in this long line and they were like, oh no, TSA PreCheck don't work for that. You need global entry. I go look at global entry and it was $15 more and you can't retroactively change it. So I had to pay $100 again for the global entry.
That is a good tip.
So
you could do both. Yeah.
Round trip versus individual tickets.
Well, some countries require round trip. So just for any destination, especially during these uncertain times of the pandemic, just double your research and the protocols for every country. Also check the expiration date of your passport. Some countries will not allow you in if your passport expires within 6 months. So make sure your passport is, renewed and it's not going to expire anytime soon. And what was the other question?
Round trip.
Oh, round trip. Round trip, definitely. It just depends where you're going. But I've done one-way tickets, and it's been great because.
Well, is it cheaper? Is it cheaper to book round trip, or is it cheaper to get your flights?
It depends how far out, right? Yeah, it depends how far out. So it really just varies. I think I would say just base it on a trip. For example, if you want to go to Europe, usually your American passport is good for 90 days as your tourist visa. So if you want to fly into Paris and you don't know, you want to fly to Spain and you want to fly to Italy, you want to take the train, you want to do a cruise, then you can get to get back from Rome or something. So you don't have to fly, but you know what I mean? So you can keep your trip open and not like, I have to fly in and out of Paris. Now you can leave it more open. And then, you can always change it, but you might have to pay to change it. But yeah.
And you mentioned using a travel agent. What are some of the benefits of using a travel agent?
Well, lots of benefits. Travel agents and travel advisors. One is that in case of delays, cancellations, emergencies, they really are 24/7. Usually they have a phone next to them or some representative that's there. And you can talk to an actual human being as opposed if you're calling a major, company like Expedia, which is great, but you might be on hold for a long time. And if you need to get in and out of somewhere, you can call your travel agent and they're more than likely experienced enough to find different solutions to whatever it is that's happening. And also the great thing about travel agents and travel advisors is that their network, who they know. So they more than likely know many people in hotels and cruises, in airlines. They could probably get you great deals. And amenities, Virtuoso, for example. A lot of travel agents are with Virtuoso. So let's say you check into the Four Seasons in Mexico City. Let's say you book it yourself, you'll still get great service. But if you book it with a travel agent, for example, and they're Virtuoso, you'll get greeted with champagne. You can get an upgrade and you get $100 or $200 spa credit or something like that. That's all additional. That just because a travel agent can get you. And if you go on the website of some hotel or, and let's say it says sold out, a travel agent can call and see if there's any way, that they can get you in. So that is like, the extra perk.
Experienced travel agent is a key word. So make sure if you're using a travel agent, don't just use your friend who newly become. You might not see the best benefits happen there, but if you go with an experienced travel agent, plenty of benefits that are to be had and help you create the perfect game plan for a trip. If you're less experienced with different places, they can give you great recommendations. They can help plan out a good trip. Nowadays, I've traveled a lot, so these days I just kind of go and migrate amongst the locals and, kind of figure out my thing from there. But I used to have to research and try to say what I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do that day. But it's very good if you never travel, you're not experienced, get with a travel agent. They'll help guide you.
They're always there and they're always happy to help you, and they're passionate about travel too. And they probably have been to the best restaurants, best hotels and know people and could probably get you into the hardest restaurants to get in, for example, and hardest things and experiences that you probably wouldn't even know existed. Like, I don't know, like a helicopter, proposal, you want to propose to your girlfriend or boyfriend, or I don't know, things that, you won't really
girls
see.
Can propose too.
What is that day in Ireland? It's called when women propose to men.
Oh, I don't know.
There's like something. Okay. Anyways.
I'll look that up.
But yeah, travel agents will know of amazing and tour operators of experiences that, like, for example, creating a fragrance workshop in the south of France.
Oh,
you
that
know
sounds
what I mean?
amazing.
Like literally, because in Grasse, the south of France, Grasse, that's where like 90% of the world's perfumes are created. And so if you want to be in the south of France, in the small villages, that's where you would go. So amazing experiences that, you just won't see or hear about?
So that covers about everything we have when it comes to travel.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do this again.
This is
so
amazing.
fun.
Yeah, and there's always so many levels of traveling, and especially we might end up running into each other in Spain or somewhere random, where we'll do part 2 and talk about travel experience and share some more stories. A couple of household items before we go. This episode today is brought to you by no one because it's the first episode. But if you want to sponsor it,
someone amazing. Hello.
Yes. If you want to sponsor it, I will pause and insert your ad right here. But no, this has been a great episode. This turned out very great. Got a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff. I can't wait to use some of these tips.
Good.
So tell everyone where they can find you.
Yes. So you can find me on my website. It's www.jetsetwithjeanette.com.
I'll link it.
And my social is the same at Jet Set with Jeanette, and Twitter and Facebook is Jeanette Seha, LinkedIn. I'm always happy to receive messages and to help and to offer recommendations. And so I mean, if I can help you, I don't know, want to travel or try something new and inspire you and uplift you, then I'm doing my job. So I'm really happy.
And y'all know where y'all can find me. If not, I'll link it below. Link it below. Subscribe and all that other good stuff. No. So, we're here. Hopefully y'all got some inspiration and motivation. And until next time, y'all be safe and go travel.
Yeah.
This is the UpnUp. Peace.